Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We are taking a look today at the Vancouver Canucks, specifically in between the pipes. Thatcher Demko is a restricted free agent going into this summer. We're going to be taking a look at what the asking price could be, what the status is between him and the Vancouver Canucks. We'll be taking a look at all of that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. And let's take a look at the Vancouver Canucks. So let's take a look at Thatcher Demko, second round pick back in 2014 of the Canucks. And back in 2019, Thatcher Demko signed a 2-year, $2.1 million contract with the Vancouver Canucks. He signed a bridge deal with the Canucks, and he's probably going to expect a significant pay raise this year. Thatcher Demko, right now, at 25 years old, is the heir to the throne for the Vancouver Canucks as this starting goaltender, and he's put up some pretty solid numbers for the Canucks, kept them in the games that they need to be stay in, and really he has been the replacement to Jacob Markstrom, and that's really good news because Braden Holtby has had injury issues. He's not been playing that well, so they've really needed Thatcher Demko, and he has stepped up quite nicely for the Canucks. Now the issue is, we heard from the fourth period last week that the Vancouver Canucks have yet to hold any contract extension talks with Thatcher Demko. So, this could be one of two things. One, which is the more unlikely thing, the Vancouver Canucks don't see a future with Thatcher Demko, and they realize they're not going to have the money to re-sign Demko, so they figure, alright, well, we're just not going to talk, and we're going to, whatever, we'll worry about that during this, excuse me, guys. We're not interested in re-signing him, so we're just not going to talk about it right now. We'll see if we make the postseason, and we'll worry about it then. Or the second thing, which I think is the more likely thing, they're waiting till the offseason to begin talks with Demko. Because he's a restricted free agent, his leverage isn't that much. Unless a team is willing to, bargain up the first and second round picks it would cost to bring in Thatcher Demko, likely the Vancouver Canucks would match whatever the other team would be offering. So, that's kind of what you're looking at. So, I think it's quite interesting that we could see that sort of scenario play out here. So, the fact that they're not talking to him, I don't think is that concerning, but I think it's just an interesting point because you would think that the future of in between the pipes for the Canucks, they'd be a little bit more concerned about what they want from him, because what we've seen from the Canucks over the past couple of years, we talked about this with Tyler Toffoli, with other guys that the Canucks have had, is they just, what's his name, Troy Stecher. They decide that, all right, we're not going to worry about it during the regular season, and when the offseason comes, then we'll worry about contract extension talks. But the problem is, by that point, the player and the agent have already decided, listen, if we've waited this long, you haven't offered us an extension, so we're going to test the free agent waters and see what's out there. And by that point, it's usually too little too late for Jim Benning and the management in Vancouver, and the guy usually walks away. Are we going to see that from Thatcher Demko? Like I said, he is a restricted free agent, so I don't know if we have to necessarily worry about that, but it's something to keep an eye on. And the bigger thing you really have to look at here is they have a lot of fish to fry this summer. Both Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes are on the final year of their entry-level contracts, so that means you could be potentially putting away $20+ million into those two players, and looking at their salary, they have $25 million in cap space for this summer. So that means you have around $5 million at best. If you give $10 million contracts to each of Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson, you're looking at $5 million at best for Thatcher Demko. So brings about an interesting conversation. You've still got a couple of other restricted free or guys that are going to want to maybe stay or go. I mean, the good news is you have Brandon Sutter and Tanner Pearson coming off the books. You do have to re-sign Adam Gaudette. That's going to cost you maybe $1 million or $2 million. Jace Hawryluk, probably not going to be much. Edler's money comes off the books, but again, that's all combined for the $25 million that's free. So, Chatfield, final year of his entry-level deal. Thatcher Demko. So we're really looking at 4 guys. Gaudette, Chatfield, Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, and Thatcher Demko. Those are the 5 guys that really are going to see a pay raise for the Vancouver Canucks if they stick around this offseason. And to divvy that all up, $25 million, It's going to be interesting for the Vancouver Canucks. So, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of the Vancouver Canucks and what do you think they're going to do? Because I think we could see call me crazy, a Braden Holtby trade this summer. Because if Braden Holtby doesn't turn things around, he's not going to get picked by Seattle. And the whole plan, I think, was for the Vancouver Canucks to have Braden Holtby signed. He plays well this year. Okay, he goes to Seattle. They lose that $4 million, whatever he's making. And then they bring in Michael DiPietro, who right now is 21 years old. He'll be at the final year of his RFA deal next year, so they could have a better pulse of where he is next year on the roster with Thatcher Demko. So they're paying him an entry-level deal as well as, whatever they're going to be paying Thatcher Demko. So if they lose, Holtby, whether through trade or the expansion draft, that's $4 million they save. Now they have themselves around $30 million to work with. But they need Braden Holtby to improve if they want to do that. So, guys, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. A couple of questions. Who do you think Seattle is going to take from the Vancouver Canucks, their new rival? And who do you think is going to be the odd man out for the Canucks this summer? Do you think it could be a Chatfield? Is it Gaudette if they decide to trade Adam Gaudette? Let me know down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and let's go Canucks.